So let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And if you're sitting, both feet flat on the floor, about a hips width apart, and your hands of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just lengthen your spine and put some space in between your vertebrae. And then bring your attention to the crown of the head and relax your scalp and the forehead and the eyes, the back of the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth, the jaw, the back of the tongue, the back of the head. And allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to just drop down, relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. Be aware of the sensation of the breath as you inhale and exhale. Around the nostrils, around the thoracic cavity. In the belly. Notice any sounds in your environment, any sensory information that might be coming in, and that could be also temperature. Are you hot or cold, or just don't even notice it maybe? And then just check in with yourself this evening. How are you going? Just put some space in between the thoughts. I think that's something really always so important to remember is if you're going through a particularly difficult time, then just know it will pass. And these times where we have to kind of really, just check in with ourselves, bear down on, what's actually happening, really, really focus in on what's happening because maybe it's painful or something. Where we can actually, they're great lessons. And these are times where we do start to look inward, and sometimes that's not really a bad thing. But also, we really need to remind ourselves when we're having a difficult time that this too will pass. And I find that some comfort in that, myself personally. Be aware of all the people of your life, all your loved ones, your strangers, the ones you don't like very much. And recognize that all these relationships are interchangeable. They're all due to impermanence. And they're all equal. They want to be happy. They don't want to suffer. And they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we think, We'll do this practice this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all the sentient beings. So again, there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. And we create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it and create positivity instead. So we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we will experience suffering in the future, sometime down the track. And, it's usually pretty inconvenient. We never know when that karma is going to ripen. We know from our present suffering we might not want any more. So it just makes sense that we would pull out those negative karmic seeds before they ripen as a fully blown result. So we think like this. We start with this regret. A regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance we rely upon. We turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So we see this as a healing practice, So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this is enlightenment, infinite wisdom, and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think about those people who've harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering for them sometime in the future. Make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And so then we come to the power of remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately, very kindly sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hompe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Judah Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Judah Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs, all our inappropriate speech. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra, and it's kind of pushing out all that negativity out of the top of the head. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasapha Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapha Dina Patita Trida Mebowal Situkaya Mebowal Sipokaya Mebowal Anurakta Mebowal Sabasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasapha Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapha Dina Patita Drida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorekta Meboa, Sabasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasapha Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapha Dina Patita Trida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So again, be so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of our mind. And imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately, very happily, sends powerful beams of light, kind of like laser light, from his heart. And this arcs around, it enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it happens instantly, as instantly as when you walk into a dark room and flick on a switch, the light comes. So you imagine that as that light comes, the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your depression, anxiety, bitterness, grudges, betrayal, jealousy, disappointments, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are now completely purified. They're totally gone, finished. And think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness, forgiveness, wisdom, bliss, and compassion. And next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of our body and speech and mind. And imagine that Vajrasattva sends out light and nectar this time together. And so you remember the nectar flowing down, pushing out all the negativity of the body, the nectar flowing up, pushing out all the negativity of the speech, and then the light coming and just blasting all of your delusions. And this is all happening at the same time. So this way you're eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa Sitokaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa, Sitokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa, Sitokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa, Sitokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, Sitam Triyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So now feel completely purified and imagine there's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now we come to the fourth and final step in the purification process, and it's the power of resolve. And it's really crucial, this one, because here we have to make a decision. So we've already recognized that we regret some of the things that we've done, some of the things we don't even remember doing. And then where do we go from there? We go, well, I probably don't want to do that anymore. So then we have to kind of make a plan. So we've decided we want to refrain from harming at this point. And then now we want to make a plan. So how are we going to go about that? So first of all, rejoice in your efforts so that it's a little encouraging. And then think about, something you would like to work on. Maybe it's the way you ruminate to yourself about things. And whatever it is that you would like to work on, whether it's the body, the speech, the mind, whatever, really just keep it simple so it doesn't become this big complicated thing that you can't achieve. Keep it really simple. Keep the amount of time you spend doing it in a day short. Just make it sweet. And then imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Lamsa Rinpoche would recommend meditating on a little bit of emptiness, on emptiness. So he would say, in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So whatever level you understand emptiness, even if it's just of having heard the word, place your mind there for a moment and think, all phenomena are empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all this virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So then let's just chanting the names of Manjushri. The splendid master donning Vajra garlands, adorned with Vajra-fashioned ornaments, with booming voice, his laughter crying, ha-ha, 6-syllabled, producing Vajra rumbles. Great Manjughosha sound supremely loud, a roar unique unto the threefold world, the voice that reaches every bound of space, preeminent amongst all voice endowed. 8, the wisdom of discernment. He is a being who's fully realized truth, reality, its peak, and selflessness, supreme in propagating emptiness, unspoken, teaching both the deep and fast. Okay, everybody. Sleep well. There's Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie. Must have arrived a little later. Do take care. Have a wonderful day. And there's Amy. I haven't seen you for ages. I hope you're doing okay. And lots of love. And I'll see you guys tomorrow evening, morning, wherever you are. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Okay.